Hello, my name is Gloria and welcome to my channel. Today's video is how to beat people pleasing as a high achieving person and become more effective. It's basically how to become unbothered, right? So in the video, I will define for you what people pleasing actually is, because clarity breeds power. A lot of people say, oh, people pleaser, and they don't even know what they're talking about. Is people pleasing being kind? Is people pleasing being overly kind? Like, what does people pleasing actually means? And I want you guys to write down the definition of what you think and what you believe people pleasing is, and see if it matches with what I'll tell you later on in the video. And then we're going to talk about the characteristics of people pleasing and the dangers of it and why it makes you so ineffective. Then I'm going to give you two things to do that can solve this problem very easily if you put them into practice. And when I talk about these two things, this is going to be part one. I'm going to make a part two of the video, because if I talked about everything, this video would be too long. It would be longer than you guys are willing to watch. So it will be very long. So I'll just talk about the first part. But even if you do those things right now, and if you start to do them today, you will definitely see a big difference in your life. I saw the change in my life as well when I started putting these things into action, and it made me more effective, more fruitful, and best of all, happier. I became a happier individual because I implemented the two things that will help the people pleasers out there. So if you're interested in this, let's go. So the first thing we'll talk about is the definition of people pleasing. It's important to give definitions because of clarity. A lot of terms are thrown out these days that people don't even know what they mean, and then we start self-diagnosing here and not knowing what we're actually tackling. But if you have clarity and you know what something means, and you know how it manifests in your life, it is easier to deal with it. So people pleasing, the working definition we're going to be using in this video, is people who are overly concerned with other people's approval, and they do it at the cost of their own needs, okay? So there are people overly concerned with the approval of others at the cost of their own needs. So it's okay to be kind, it's okay to be, helpful, but the line is drawn when you're constantly ruminating on how you can win the approvals of other people, and you are also doing it at the cost of your own well-being. That's the working definition we're going to use. And I'll give you like 4 characteristics, 5. Obviously, this isn't inclusive of everything. It's just a few pointers to guide you to determine whether you're a people pleaser or not, or whether you were. Comment in the comment description if you are ever manifesting any of these characteristics, because I sure was. So the first thing is, you have a hard time saying no. Like, when somebody comes up to you with a request, even if you say no, you feel very guilty, or you don't say no, or you do it, you drop what you're doing and just go and help this person out, even despite the fact that maybe you didn't have the time or you had other things to do. You go and do it. You have a hard time saying no, okay? I actually have a hard time saying yes, but that's besides the point. Now, the second characteristic is you are preoccupied with other people's opinion of you and other people's approval of you. So before you buy clothes, you're thinking, okay, what will other people think of this? Will this cause a lot of stirs? Okay, before you watch a program, you're like, oh, are other people watching this program? Is it good? Maybe you run up to the comment section and read the reviews first before you even figure out whether you like it or not. Maybe when somebody offers you like, you want to order food in a restaurant, you find out what other people are doing first before you do it. This is likely a sign that you have people-pleasing tendencies. Another characteristic is maybe lower self-esteem, where you don't feel worthy, you don't feel like capable, or you feel like other people better than you. Have kind of an inferiority complex. So low self-esteem, inferiority complexes, all that. So one of the dangers of people-pleasing is it comes at the cost of your effectiveness. You don't feel happy even after bending your back and becoming a doormat for everybody. You don't feel happy. Your productivity is lowered. You feel even less your self-esteem is depleted even more because people don't even appreciate it. People don't appreciate people pleasing. There was this girl in my class in high school. She was really like a people pleaser. I've never met somebody who can never say no. Like, I wasn't even her friend, but I knew if I wanted somebody to do something for me, something that no one else was willing to do, if I asked her, she would do it. And I'm like, nobody was respecting her time. No one was respecting her belongings. People didn't think she was nice. They thought she was a walkover, so they'd walk all over her. And then at the end of the day, she didn't even have real friends, right? So this people pleasing has consequences. And if you want to be a doormat, if you want to have like fake relationships, be a people pleaser. But if you want to be effective and you want to have balance, if you want to be happy, if you want to be more effective, have more enjoyable relationships with your peers, with your coworkers, then it's important to temper this people pleasing. Okay, so now the first point we're going to talk about is boundaries. Now, I'm going to tell you how people do boundaries wrong. Boundaries are important and boundaries are very effective if you know how to apply them. There's an imbalanced perspective about boundaries, and you'll find it to be true. If you search up the internet right now and you search up how to do boundaries, they're going to just tell you one perspective of how to do boundaries. But there's actually another way you can put up boundaries in a way that is most effective, especially for high achieving people, especially from like the viewers who are watching this channel. And I'm also going to talk about the importance of setting these boundaries within relationships. So the imbalanced perspective of boundaries is other people must uphold my boundaries. It's external, not internal. While it is true that it is important to communicate your boundaries at times, you wouldn't have to communicate your boundaries all the time if you set the boundaries with yourself. Boundaries first start internally. I'll give an example. I personally don't drink. I don't drink alcohol. This is a personal choice. And you won't find me sitting in a bar every weekend with my friends and telling them, oh, you know what? I don't drink. Don't offer. I don't drink. Guys, haven't I told you that I don't drink? You won't find me there. My friends know, so when we meet up, sometimes we'll go to places where like people are drinking, but they never like expect me to drink because they know, right? I will take the menu and order a coffee. I'll take the menu, order a mocktail or order a non-alcoholic drink. Like, they don't have to ask me like, whoa, what are you gonna do? No, I already know my preferences, so nobody like infringes on that. If somebody doesn't know me, then I'll probably have to communicate that with them. But even by my energy, you can just tell. Boundaries are something that you first clarify with yourself and uphold with yourself before you start to communicate your needs outward. Yeah. So if I don't entertain gossip with certain people, if I don't entertain gossip, and yet every time I'm the one who wakes up and goes to my coworker and starts gossiping about somebody else. And then when somebody starts gossiping about you, you get mad. It's because you're not upholding your own boundaries, right? If you have the boundary, I don't gossip to anyone and I don't listen to gossip, then it will be so clear, it will be so firm that when the gossipers come to you, the drama ends with you. You're just like, then you leave because it's not something you want to engage with, right? So they'll go to somewhere else where somebody will entertain that. Another example is argument. I used to be I love arguing. I don't know whether it's an occupational hazard because I'm a lawyer and that's just what we do, but I can argue about anything. And for a long time I would ask myself, why are people arguing with me? I don't get it. Do I just meet argumentative people? I don't even like arguments. And I would say such things like, I don't want to argue, and end up in arguments all the time. It's because I hadn't clarified the boundary with myself. I hadn't put those rules with myself first and said, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to participate in arguments. I hadn't done it. So I would always end up engaging in arguments with people. It wasn't until I'm the one who said, no, it's not on them, it's on me. It's not on them. I'm the one who is going up to them and, talking and bringing up all this nonsense. It's me. So I need to work on myself first. That's another way we can uphold boundaries. Your absence is powerful. Your absence is powerful. Remember when we were talking about the participant mentality? You can choose to participate or not participate. So when somebody who likes to argue comes into my field, what do? I'm out. Like, I'm not gonna engage with that. I'm not gonna engage with that. So boundaries are very, very important, and this is hard for people pleasers. So in the comments, if you know that this is an issue for you, action is very important, right? Learning is two phases, okay? Input and output. And output should be more than input if we want to learn, like truly learn what we hear and what we think about, right? So in the comments, write down any boundaries that you're now deciding to set with yourself. 1 or 2 boundaries you've decided, like, that will change your life. That if you decide today that I'm not a participant in this, sorry, that doesn't work for me, no, that doesn't work for me, write it down. But this is the smallest thing. I started with like, I don't like eating this kind of food, so I don't, when somebody offers it, I say no. Or if like I'm somewhere and there's no other food, I'd rather just take water, you know? I wouldn't like, because I'm intolerant, I used to eat like food I'm intolerant of just to please other people. So I wouldn't make myself sick just because somebody offered me something, just small things like that, right? And decide that from today, you're not gonna do that anymore. I have an affirmation manifestation e-journal, which is like the foundation of inner work. We do gratitude, we do affirmations, we do setting intentions every day, because we are learning how to be happy, healthy, and wealthy, right? We want to learn where to start to do our inner works. Once you decide you want to do inner work, once you decide you want to be the best version of yourself, taking action is the next plausible step. And one of the ways you can do that is like things like the e-journal that I have in my description, coaching, whatever thing that you need to do right now to set that boundary with yourself and say, okay, from now on, I'm a person who prioritizes inner work. I'm a person who works on myself first. Do it. Don't waste time, because, you know, the universe favors speed, and that's just how it works. That's what I found, okay? So if you're interested in that, check out the description. If you're not interested in that, just follow the video, put in the comments, start your journaling. My content is so much, so you always have a point to begin with, right? If you just put this one thing, the boundaries, into action, your life is going to change like mine changed the minute I started putting boundaries with myself and upholding my own behaviors and my own rules and being the participant of my life rather than a victim. Things changed. People, like, your energy changes, and people in your field will just know. I was coaching somebody, and she was like, people come up to me and say mean comments to me, they're bugging me, they don't uphold my boundaries. And I'm like, do you uphold your own boundaries? Because you can't expect other people to uphold boundaries that you yourself break, that you yourself are not sure of. The more I embody it, the less I have to communicate it. And even when I do communicate it, it's only once or twice, and people get it because they can see it. Seeing is believing, people. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and have a lovely weekend. Bye.